Is Mei's Winter Wonderland skin actually legendary quality? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa and this is Unit Lost. And I asked on Twitter, I said, guys, what do you like or dislike about the winter event? And overwhelmingly, the feedback was, we do not like the fact that Mei's skin is legendary because it's not a legendary skin, it's just a recolor. Well, yeah, I kind of agree. So the game has set the bar pretty high for legendary skins. What it has said is a legendary skin is 3,000 credits, so pretty expensive. Well, the most expensive thing you can buy, anything of legendary quality, even the two legendary emotes that we've got in the game, the Zarya and the Diva emote, 3,000 they cost. What we're going to do is give you a skin which is a total remake. Look at every legendary skin that is currently in the game. It is a total remake of the character. What that means is it's a remodel of the way the character looks. The character remains the same. It's got the same face, the same body, but it wears different clothes. It has a different aesthetic to it, which is what a legendary skin is about. Problem with the Mei skin is it's just Mei's skin with a recolor. And this is kind of what I believe Blizzard thinks makes it legendary, is the fact that when you use the ice block, you're now a snowman. So it's got a different effect in-game, which is cool and which is fancy. Now let's just rewind this for a second, because Mei's skin is actually a really nice skin. When you look at it, it works totally well. Why would they bother redesigning Mei when she already is dressed up like Mrs. Claus? You know, she already looks like a Lady Santa. Why would you even bother changing her? Just make her red and put a Christmas hat on her head, which is what they've done, right? And then put a little bow on top of the snowball, which is her weather drone, and yeah, that's great. The problem is, if you look at the skins that have come out in this event, if you look at McCree's Scrooge skin, that is, well, he's got a new hat, you know, that's not, and a pair of glasses. That's basically the same as Mei getting a new hat and Mei getting a bow on top of Snowball. Look at Farah. Farah looks like she's just come out of Naxx progression for, like she needs frost resistance gear or something, or she's from Wrath of the Lich King from World of Warcraft. That is a really nice skin, but that's only an epic skin. So what we need to understand is the way the skins are done at the moment and why Mei just sticks out like a sore thumb. And maybe this indicates Blizzard are actually changing the way they're going to design skins, which could be for the worse overall. Let's get into this. So what you've got is rare. Now a rare skin is, this is a blue skin, so it'll be blue text. It is just a recolor. It's the same standard skin with a different color palette. That's it, right? You know, there's a load of these. Just simple recolors of the skins, you know, easy stuff. Then you get epic. Now these are the purple skins. These are a more detailed recolor, and these have like flourishes to design, so like an extra bit of design. So maybe a bow on the snowball, maybe a different hat. You know, like the McCree one, he's got a new hat, he's got a new pair of glasses. That's epic. Then legendary is a complete rework. Look at the legendary skins in this update. Nutcracker Zen, amazing. The clad, geez, what's it called? Santa clad claws. I forgot what it's called. The bloody Torbjorn Santa skin, a total remake. Look at Winston, a total remake. These are complete redesigns of the character. And then you've got Mei, who's just red in a standard gear. With a different particle effect. Like, well, not even a particle effect, it's just a different effect on one of her abilities. That is not a skin that fits into legendary or epic. You could argue that it's actually better than an epic skin because it's got the effect on her ability, so she turns into the snowman instead of the ice block. Now there's only one other skin, well, I guess there's a couple, but there's one other skin that sticks out, and that's the Hanzo legendary skin, the Akami skins, and the other version of that, where instead of firing the dragon for his ultimate, he fires wolves, and he's got a different voice line as well. So when he fires the ultimate, he says the wolves, whatever, and when he uses his detection arrow, then he says something about the wolves' eyes are going to find you. I don't play Hanzo, whatever. But it is a different skin. It is different in a way which makes it legendary, and it's also a complete redesign as well. And that's not what the Mei skin is. So I completely understand when people are like, this is not a legendary skin, because by the standards Blizzard have put in place, this is not a legendary skin, right? Now, let's sort of be on Blizzard's side right now and say, why would they think it's a legendary skin? Well, why would you change the design of Mei when she already looks like she's, like, Mrs. Santa Claus, right? She already looks like that. All it needs is a recolor. It gets a recolor, it gets a new hat, so that adds a bit of detail to it. It gets a little bit of detail to the snowball, and she gets a new effect on her ice block ability, which is great, right? That's fine. But that is not a legendary skin by the standards Blizzard have set. So I can see why they would think it's kind of pointless in a way, redesigning this skin, because it already works. But to give us that after the quality of skins they have been giving us, it can feel like a slap in the face, really, because you're like, okay, you've raised yourself to these standards. What's going on? Are you deciding not to actually put as much effort into the skins, or is it simply a case of you thought that looked better? Because I can understand that, but if you did, then it's not a legendary skin, is it? Because all you're doing is recoloring it. It's an epic skin. It's between epic and legendary. Maybe you need a new tier of skins, you know. That could be something they add on, I don't know. But wait, there's been a post on the official forums from Jeff Kaplan, and this is what he says on the subject. Sorry you were disappointed with Mei's winter skin. We don't have a specific rule that makes something legendary or epic. We just sort of make a gut call based off what we think is cool. Coolness is very subjective, and based off the community reaction, it seems like our gauge was way off on this one. Our reasoning for it being legendary was that we completely redid the visual effects for Cryo Freeze. We turned the ice block into a snowman. We thought that was pretty special, and we had done it specifically based on community suggestions from months ago when people were speculating that we might have a winter event. Apparently, lots of people don't agree with us, and that's okay. It's all good feedback, and we're learning something for future events. For people concerned that Mei is not going to get another legendary for a long time, you need not worry. We have something pretty awesome for her early next year. Now, obviously, there's a big tease there. We're going to get a new legendary skin for Mei early next year, so what does that mean? Are we going to get a new event early next year? Who knows what's going to happen? What the hell is going on? You know, I need to find out. I can't wait. But this post itself is pretty interesting. Like, the very first thing it says is we don't have a specific rule set for what makes a skin legendary or epic. I don't believe that. I honestly don't believe that. If you look at Blizzard's level of design, level of quality, level of polish, they will have a framework for what makes a skin rare, what makes one epic, and what makes one legendary. I mean, it's quite clear what this is as well. A rare skin is just a recolor, an epic skin is a recolor with a little bit more extra detail, and a legendary skin is a complete makeover for the character. With visual effects on abilities. I was going to say spells. This isn't really World of Warcraft, is it? But visual effects on abilities in game. That's what a legendary skin is. It doesn't really take somebody who works at Blizzard to understand that. So then when you look at the Mei skin, and all it is a recolor with visual effect changes, it's like, well, that's not legendary, but it's also not epic. It's in between somewhere. The problem is, and this is where I was going to become a bit of a doomsayer, and I was going to go, is this going to be the start of Blizzard reducing effort with certain things in certain updates? So they give us some good quality legendaries, but then they give us poorer quality, easier legendaries to make. Now, I'm not saying Mei skin's bad, and I'll get onto that in a second, but that's what I was starting to think, like, could this be an attempt to sort of drain the currency out of the community? Because I've got a lot of currency now, and there'll be people out there with more than me, because they play the game a hell of a lot. And so you can pretty much buy whatever the hell you like. And when that comes around with every single event, do Blizzard really want that? So when they put out these sort of lower effort skins, I mean, it's not fair that I call it lower effort, but less design work has gone into that Mei skin, because the actual design of itself is just the Mei skin. They've just coloured it red, you know, and then added a little bit of detail here and there, like put a Santa hat on, put a bow on top of Snowball. There's not really, like, that's not going to have taken that much time to actually produce compared to, like, the Nutcracker skin for Zenyatta, which is a complete remake of that skin. So I was getting a bit skeptical, and I was thinking, okay, we're going to get maybe 3 or 4 actual legendary skins, and then we're going to get, like, these pseudo legendary skins that are not really legendary. They're just sort of skins that are thrown out there because they're easy to make, and we can charge 3,000 for them, which is a bit crazy. However, what they're saying in this post is, actually, no, we don't have guidelines for this. If we think it's cool, it's legendary. Now, if you look at this Mei skin on itself, it is actually a really good skin. I think it's a nice skin, but it's not a legendary skin, and that's where all of the can I call it backlash? I guess I can call it backlash from the community. That's where that's coming from, because you look at every other legendary skin, nobody really looks at them and goes, oh, they're bad. You know, they're all good. Blizzard have raised the bar so stupidly high with the character design in this game, and that's what Overwatch is built on. When you really drill down to what Overwatch is about, it's about these characters that people can relate to, because if you relate to a character, you love that character, then you're more inclined to want to play with that character, become more attached to the character, and then get more of the items for that character. That's how all of this works. So for them to suddenly start seemingly putting less effort into that becomes a little bit worrying, because that's the backbone of the game. It's like, well, what are you doing, Blizzard? But like I said, this Mei skin is actually a really nice skin. It's just not legendary, and that is the big issue. And with Jeff coming out and saying, okay, we thought it was legendary because we added a visual effect, there's no mention there of putting the Santa hat on and just recoloring the skin. And it's the first time they've done this with the skin, you know, just basically left it almost in a epic state, but then added a visual effect and then gone, oh, it must be legendary now. I mean, if you look at the Hanzo Okami skin, which I spoke about a little bit earlier on, that skin has got the dragon. The dragons are replaced with wolves. I mean, what? And he's got like a wolf on him, and I think he's got special voice lines as well when he uses his sonic arrow. It's like, you know, the wolf eyes see you or whatever. You know, that is extra detail, and you don't get that with the Mei skin, so it's not on that level. Now, is it fair that we always want that level of legendary skin? Well, I think it is, because it's Blizzard. Blizzard, I've said that they've raised the bar stupidly high with polish and design and all of that stuff. We always want good designs, and it's up to them to keep coming up with designs. This is a wildly successful game, so they've obviously got the resources to do this. That's why I was a bit disappointed when I was like, hang on, this is a legendary skin for the Mei one? It seemed like I said earlier, almost like a slap in the face. It's like, whoa, what's going on here? This doesn't really seem fair. And I guess just to wrap this up, I could quickly touch onto the Brawl as well, because like I was kind of disappointed with the Brawl, and I might make a video on this in the future going into a bit more detail, but this is kind of, it compacted the reasoning of like, oh, Blizzard not putting as much effort into this, with the Mei skin being legendary, and then suddenly seeing the Brawl, because the Brawl is nowhere near as complicated or as fun as Junkenstein's Revenge, because Junkenstein's Revenge, okay, maybe you didn't like Junkenstein's Revenge, maybe you like more PvE stuff, so for me to call it not as much fun is not really fair. That is subjective. But from a purely design standpoint, it had full narration. It had I guess a story to it. Not much of a story, but it did. It had leaderboards. It was co-op. It was, you know, it had a lot of stuff with it. This event is just a 6v6 on a map, which is just the standard map in the game, which has been slightly edited, which I guess you could have said the same about Junkenstein's Revenge, because it was on Iconvolt and slightly edited, I guess. But they did change the map. You know, they added bits to it and all of that stuff, so it was a bit more than slightly edited. But yeah, that kind of made me think, okay, what's going on? This is almost like a lower effort event, and then we've got a lower effort legendary skin. Is this a sign of things to come? But this post off Jeff says no, it's not. It says we just made a mistake, and we're actually going to give you more skins in the coming new year, which I can't wait to see, and it's going to be early next year, so that must mean there's going to be some sort of event. Alright guys, I'm Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. If you like the video, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment below, and I'll catch you next time guys. Toodaloo.